Okay, it's getting cold here where we are, and a lot of people are thinking about replacing their foundation vents. And if you live in a location where you get temperatures below freezing, you're going to have to make sure your foundation vents are closed as you go into wintertime, and you want to make sure you open these things up as you come out of winter into weather that's above freezing. Let's see if I can get a good angle on this phone. I brought my fancy 2x4 to hold the phone up. I think maybe that'll do it. This is what you pay for with free videos. A little bit of B-roll. Okay, there we go. What these are, you may have seen these on your home and you might not actually know what they are. And if you don't know what they are, that should be a bit concerning because you're probably using them incorrectly every single year, at least twice a year. So what these are the old style foundation vents. These are just a standard manual galvanized metal foundation vent. A lot of them have a screen inside. Oop, yeah, there's a piece of the screen. And this metal screen, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that. This metal screen just totally rusts and falls apart, which lets a lot of insects inside your home. A lot. And you can also get mice if that little steel screen in these old ones has rusted out like this one has. Mice can easily go to and fro in and out of your basement or crawl space. What these do in the wintertime, these vents are supposed to be shut tightly, and they'll keep your lines from freezing into your home so long as your home stays warm enough inside and you don't have all the utilities shut off. These things will likely prevent frozen lines. In the summertime, you're supposed to open these back up, or in springtime when you finally consistently get above freezing temperatures, you can open these back up, and you should open them back up, and they'll allow the damp air to flow in and out and try to dry out your crawl space, because the soil under your home typically stays wet all the time. It doesn't have any exposure to the sun or the heat outside, so it's going to stay wet a lot longer than the ground outside will. And that moisture will get into the wood structure below your home. And I've seen homes where they had to be totally demolished because the wood structure into the home had so much moisture get into it that it rotted over the years, and there was nothing left to hold the floor up. And it's actually something that happened to my parents. Theirs hasn't had to be torn down yet, but we're trying to figure out what we can do to completely replace the wooden structure under the home, because every single bit of it's rotted out. Nothing holding the floor up. Those rafters are gone. Anyway, these old manual style, you have to be good about opening and closing them as the seasons change. And what we're going to do today, hopefully this is an easy one. Some of these have been easy, some of these have been a nightmare to pull out today. We're going to put in these vinyl vents. They call these automatic vents, or thermostat controlled vents. There's no electronics in there. There's a small spring coiled up in here. I can't really show you this one. I can try to, I'm not sure if it's going to focus. There's a little bitty, no, I don't think you're going to see that. Little bitty spring coiled inside of here that opens and closes the louvers. These are closed because it's cold out here today. And you want to make sure when you install these, a lot of them will tell you which side is the top. The top has to be aimed up at the top. If you flip it over, you won't be able to see that either maybe, but if you flip it over upside down, these will automatically be open all the time and they will not close. So you must have these right side up when you install them, and you want to caulk and seal the tops and sides and bottom if you can, but you want to make sure you get them sealed pretty well. Sometimes these old vents are pretty easy to get out. Sometimes they're a bit of a nightmare. A lot of times what I find useful is just a flat pry bar and get it right on top, if you're able to, on top of the galvanized metal of that vent. Just try to dent it down a little. So far so good. Trying to tear up your brick if you can avoid it. Of course, these new vents have a bit of a lip around, so if you damage the brick just a tiny bit, it's all going to go behind the vent. This one's not fighting too much. A couple of them earlier today just about like thought they weren't ever going to come out. Okay. You can kind of see what we're dealing with there. This metal screen in the back is just totally turned to dust, and I'd be wearing a mask today, except that I'm trying to make this video for y'all. I'll be putting that mask back on here pretty soon though. So that's the old vent. And in this case, there's going to be quite a lot of grout back here. I've got to chip out to get it ready. Chisel would be a better tool for this. Hammers are known as universal tools or pry bars. Okay, that might work. All right, let's see. Top up. Boy, we got lucky on this one. This was an easy one. A lot of times when they put the houses together, put the brick on the face, the brick will push down on these and will kind of collapse and crush this. And if the hole is not exactly the right size, then these will not go in. A lot of these holes have not been. We got lucky on this one, but typically what we can do is there's almost always going to be a grout joint down here at the bottom of the vent as well as on the top of the vent. And I typically take out whichever grout joint is thinner. In this case, the top one would be the one I would take out if we were trying to make more space. And then take out one of the sides. Just work slow with it so you don't damage the brick. Don't try to knock it all off in one swing because it's pretty well stuck to the brick a lot of times. Anyway, you get her in there. Should have staged my tools a bit better. And there's some screws down here. You do not want to over tighten these screws, and ideally you do not want to use a power drill on these because you can ruin these vents. And again, these vents are thermostat controlled foundation vents if you're trying to figure out what they are and where to get them. Home Depot appears to have recently started selling them, but a lot of builder stores around the country will likely sell these. Menards may sell them. Home Depot does, at least at some of their stores, sell them. I've never seen them at Lowe's, but Lowe's may also sell them. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I don't have the caulking with me today. Just kind of make sure it's snug on there. You do not want to over tighten those screws, but you do want to make sure all 4 screws are touching the stones. That'll help hold this in. If you just tighten one side, it may be tight, but it may fall out later. So I'm going to come back in later and I'm going to take some OSI Quad clear caulking, since I've got 2 different color materials. Clear caulking, I'm going to seal real well into all these grout joints and then along the entire perimeter of these to seal them up so water doesn't go in behind them and create more of a problem. Anyway, that's kind of what we got. We'll seal this thing up off camera, but that's how we're going to do it. Thanks for watching. If you like this, please like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Here we go. Now there's one other thing, just while I'm thinking about it. If you see cracks in your brick, it's not that unusual and usually doesn't mean much. But if the crack is little bitty down here, you can see kind of at the corner of this vent, little bitty skinny crack on that side, little bit bigger crack up here, and a lot bigger right there. That is something you should be concerned about, because that more than likely indicates you've got a foundation problem. So if you see that, you should be talking to a foundation expert and not just a handyman that says they know about foundations. Find someone that only does foundations and have a couple companies come out and quote it. But that's something that may need to be addressed. Crawl space homes are sometimes a bit easier to work on, but they can have their issues too. There's a big crack on that side of the window too. So cracks that get larger progressively as they go up or down your foundation are the cracks you want to worry about. All right, thanks again for watching. Hit that like, subscribe, and if you want to be notified of more videos we put out, hit the little bell icon and that'll let you know anytime we put a new video out. All right, have a good day. Thank you.